The training room was enormous, big enough to fit a small building inside. Hyunwoo stood in the center watching as Kira set up the simulation systems. She moved quickly, her forearms working on different controls at once. "The trial will feel real," she explained as she worked. "Your mind will believe you are actually fighting. Pain will feel like pain. If you die in the simulation, you will not die in real life, but your body will go into shock. The armor will protect you, but it will hurt." "Great," Hyunwoo muttered. "Anything else I should know?" Kira stopped and looked at him seriously. "The Devourers are not like anything you have seen before. They are smart. They learn. They adapt. Old Veltari warriors said fighting them was like fighting your own shadow, except the shadow had teeth and claws and wanted to eat you." "You're really good at pep talks," Woojin said from the viewing area above. He was watching with Daeho and several Veltari, including Liss and the council members. Kira gave a small smile. "I am trying to prepare him. The trial is designed to be almost impossible. Most ancient Sentinel warriors failed on their first try. Some failed 5 or 6 times before passing, and those were Veltari raised from birth to fight." "So what you're saying is I have no chance," Hyunwoo said. "No." Kira walked up to him and looked into his helmet visor. "I am saying do not expect to be perfect. The trial is about more than winning. It is about how you handle impossible situations, how you think when everything is going wrong. That is what the armor wants to see." The armor hummed in agreement in Hyunwoo's mind. "Besides," Kira added, "you will not be alone. I am going in with you." Hyunwoo was surprised. "You are? Someone has to watch your back," she said. "And I need to see how humans fight. If you can bond with the armor, I need to understand your way of thinking. Maybe I can learn something." A second suit of armor was brought into the room, modern Veltari combat armor, sleek and silver. Kira put it on quickly, practiced from years of training. It was nothing compared to the Sentinel armor, but it was still impressive. "Are you ready?" Velsara asked from the viewing area. Hyunwoo took a deep breath. "As ready as I'll ever be." "Beginning Trial of Ancients," a computer voice announced. "Difficulty maximum. Survival rate less than 1%. Good luck, less than 1%. Hyunwoo repeated. "That's encouraging." The room changed. Reality twisted, and suddenly they were standing on a dead planet under a red sky. The ground was covered in black rocks, and in the distance, Hyunwoo could see structures that looked like they had been melted and twisted by terrible heat. "The simulation has started," Kira said, her voice coming through his helmet's communication system. "Stay alert. They could be anywhere." For a moment nothing happened. Then Hyunwoo heard it, a clicking sound like insect legs on stone, but huge and heavy. They came from everywhere at once. The Devourers, they were nightmares made real. Each one was the size of a car, with too many legs and bodies covered in black armor that seemed to drink in light. Their mouths were circular saws of teeth, and their eyes glowed red like hot coals. Worst of all, they moved with terrible intelligence, spreading out to surround their prey. "Here they come," Kira shouted. The armor took over before Hyunwoo could think. His body moved faster than he knew was possible. Energy blades extended from his forearms, glowing bright blue. He cut through the first Devourer as it leaped at him, and the creature exploded into black smoke. But there were more. So many more. Kira fired her weapons, energy bolts that hit with precision. She was good, trained, and skilled. But for every Devourer they killed, 2 more appeared. The simulation was not holding back. "There are too many," Hyunwoo said, cutting down another creature. "That is the point," Kira replied. "The trial is designed to be overwhelming. You have to find a way through." The armor showed Hyunwoo tactical data, possible escape routes, weak points in the enemy formation. But all the data said the same thing. They were surrounded. Every direction was blocked. A Veltari would analyze the data and pick the least bad option. That was logical. That was smart. But Hyunwoo was not Veltari. "Kira, get behind me," he shouted. "What are you doing?" she asked, but she moved to his back anyway. Hyunwoo did something the armor did not expect. Instead of looking for a way out, he charged directly at the largest group of Devourers. It was stupid. It was reckless. It made no tactical sense. The armor hesitated for a split second, confused by his choice. Then it understood. This was human thinking. This was chaos. Power surged through the Sentinel armor more than before. The armor was not fighting against Hyunwoo's decision. It was amplifying it, adding its strength to his wild plan. Hyunwoo crashed into the Devourer formation like a meteor, Energy exploded around him and the creatures scattered. They had been expecting him to run or defend. They were not ready for him to attack so stupidly. Now, Hyunwoo yelled. "Through the gap!" Kira did not question it. She ran through the opening he had created, firing at any devourer that got close. They made it to higher ground, a cliff that gave them a better view of the battlefield. But the devourers were already adapting. They began to coordinate better, moving in patterns that cut off escape routes. They were learning from the first attack. "They are getting smarter," Kira said. This is what the old text described. The devourers evolved during battle. Hyunwoo's mind raced. If they adapted to tactics, then he needed to keep changing. Never do the same thing twice. Stay unpredictable. It was exhausting just thinking about it. But the armor helped, feeding him ideas, showing him possibilities. Together, human and armor, they started to dance through the battle. He would charge, then suddenly stop and dodge. He would attack from the right, then immediately switch to the left. He used his energy shields in ways the combat manual would call wrong, bouncing enemy attacks back at them instead of just blocking. Kira watched in amazement. "You fight like you are insane," she said, but there was respect in her voice. "Is it working?" Hyunwoo asked, slicing through 3 devourers at once. "Yes," she admitted. "They cannot predict you. You are too chaotic." But the simulation kept increasing the difficulty. More devourers appeared, bigger ones with thicker armor and faster movements. Hyunwoo was getting tired. The armor gave him strength, but his mind was exhausted from making so many split-second decisions. A massive devourer, twice the size of the others, burst from the ground beneath them. Hyunwoo and Kira fell, separated by the attack. The creature focused on Hyunwoo, seeing him as the bigger threat. Hyunwoo tried to stand, but his leg hurt. The armor was damaged, sparking where the creature had clawed it. The giant devourer approached slowly, knowing it had won. In the viewing area, Liz stood up. He failed. "End the simulation." "Wait," Velsera said. "Look." Hyunwoo was not giving up. He could barely stand, his armor was damaged, and he was completely surrounded. Any logical person would surrender, but humans were not always logical. "Armor," Hyunwoo said quietly. "I know you have one big attack left. Something powerful." "I can feel it," the armor responded. "Yes, but using it will drain me completely. You will be defenseless after. Do we need to survive, or do we just need to complete the trial?" The armor understood. "You are thinking of a mutual defeat. We take the enemy with us." "Exactly. That is irrational. We should try to survive." "But will trying to survive let us win?" The armor was silent for a moment. Then Hyunwoo felt something like laughter in his mind. "You truly are the inheritor. You think in beautiful chaos." Power built in the Sentinel armor's core, more power than Hyunwoo had felt yet. It was terrifying and exciting at the same time. The giant devourer lunged. Hyunwoo released everything. A wave of pure energy exploded from the armor, turning the world white. The devourers, the rocks, the entire battlefield was consumed by light. The massive creature had no time to adapt or defend. It simply ceased to exist. When the light faded, Hyunwoo was on his knees, the armor completely dark. No power, no shields, nothing. If there were any enemies left, he would be helpless, but there were no enemies. The battlefield was empty. Quiet. "Trial complete," the computer voice announced. Time, 12 minutes, 34 seconds. Devourers eliminated, 147. Status pass. Evaluation. Unconventional methods, high risk tolerance, exceptional adaptability. Pilot shows true Sentinel characteristics. The simulation faded. They were back in the training room. Kira ran to Hyunwoo as he collapsed. The armor slowly started to recharge, pulling energy from the room's power systems. In the viewing area, the council members were completely silent. Finally, Velsera spoke. "That was the most reckless, illogical, chaotic display of combat I have ever seen." Liz nodded in agreement. "Completely improper, and yet he passed," Krathus added. "In 12 minutes. The fastest recorded time is 17 minutes. Velsera looked at the other council members. The armor was right. The inheritors are here. The question now is what we do about it. Woo Jin whooped from the viewing area. "That was amazing." "Can I try next?" Deho smiled quietly. "It seems humans have found their purpose in the galaxy after all." The High Council arrived on the Valcross 2 days later. Hyunwoo spent those days in the vault, still wearing the armor because it refused to come off. He ate carefully through a small opening in the helmet. He slept sitting up with the armor supporting him. It was strange, but he was getting used to it. Daeho stayed with him most of the time, along with Wu Jin. Kira came and went, bringing him food and asking questions about what the armor was telling him. She seemed different now, less proud and more curious. When the council finally came, they were 7 ancient Veltari, even taller than Liss, with skin that had faded to pale blue from age. They wore robes covered in symbols and carried staffs that glowed softly. They looked at Hyunwoo like he was a puzzle they could not solve. The eldest, a female named Velsera, spoke first. "We have reviewed the recordings. We have read the old texts. We have consulted with every expert we could find." She paused. "And we have a theory, but you will not like it." "Tell us," Liss said. Velsera gestured, and a holographic display appeared in the air. It showed the double helix of DNA genetic code. 10,000 years ago, our ancestors faced a choice. They were powerful warriors, yes, but they were also chaotic. They felt too much, thought too wildly. Wars were fought over emotions. Entire colonies destroyed because someone felt insulted. The hologram changed, showing ancient Veltari in battle, fighting with savage joy and terrible anger. "So they changed themselves," Velsera continued. "They used genetic modification to remove what they called the chaos genes. The parts of their DNA that made them unpredictable, overly emotional and irrational. They made themselves calmer, more logical, more perfect. The hologram showed the transformation, DNA strands being cut and replaced. It worked," Velsera said. "We became peaceful. Our civilization flourished. We stopped destroying ourselves. But we lost something too." The hologram now showed a Veltari trying to bond with a Sentinel armor. The armor stayed dark and dead. The Sentinel armors were designed for the old Veltari, Velsera explained. For warriors who could think in chaos, who could adapt instantly, who could feel rage and joy and fear all at once. The armors needed that kind of mind to work properly. When we removed the chaos genes, we locked ourselves out of our own greatest weapons. She turned to look directly at Hyunwoo. "But humans still have those genes. Not because you are related to us, but because you never tried to perfect yourselves. You kept your chaos, your emotions, your wild way of thinking." Wu Jin laughed suddenly, a short bark of surprise. "You're saying we can use your ancient super weapons because we're messy and emotional?" "Essentially, yes," Velsera said. She did not sound happy about it. Another council member, an old male named Korthas, stepped forward. "We tested this theory. We compared human DNA samples with ancient Veltari genetic records from before the modification. The match is remarkable. Not identical, but you have the same types of chaos genes, the same potential for unpredictable creativity. So our flaws are actually what make us special," Hyunwoo asked from inside the armor. "Your flaws," Korthas said slowly, "are what our ancestors threw away. And now if the Devourers truly are returning, we may need those flaws to survive." Liss crossed her arms. "This is insane. You want to put the most powerful weapons in our history into the hands of humans? A species that barely knows how to fly between stars without getting lost?" "We do not want to," Velsera said quietly. "But the armor has chosen. Look at him. The bonding is complete. The power signature is stronger than any recording from the old wars. If we try to force the armor off, it might kill him. And the armor's intelligence is clear. It wants him." Kira spoke up. "The armor said the inheritors have been found. Plural. Not just one human." Velsera nodded. "We thought of that. There are 6 other Sentinel armors in this vault. There are 4 other humans on this ship. You want to see if they can bond too," Daeho said. It was not a question. "We need to know if this is unique to Hyunwoo or if all humans carry this ability," Velsera said. "If the Devourers return, 1 Sentinel warrior will not be enough." Wu Jin looked excited and nervous at the same time. "Can I try?" "I want to try." "This is not a game," Liss said sharply. "The Sentinel armors are dangerous. Bonding with one changes you. The old texts say some pilots went mad from the connection. But some didn't," Kira said. "Some became legends. Like my ancestor." Velsera raised her hand for silence. "We will test this carefully. 1 human at a time. If the bonding works, we train them. If it fails, we stop immediately." She looked at Hyunwoo. "But first you must prove you can control the armor. We need to see if you are a warrior or just a human wearing a powerful suit he cannot use." "How do I prove that?" Hyunwoo asked. "The trial of ancients," Korthas said. a combat simulation that every Sentinel warrior had to pass. It tests reaction time, tactical thinking, and the ability to adapt to impossible odds. Veltari has passed this trial in 8,000 years. What happens in the trial? Hyunwoo felt nervous now. You fight, Kira said quietly, against simulations of the Devourers. The same enemy the Sentinel warriors faced 10,000 years ago. The same enemy the armor says is coming back. Velsera nodded. If you pass, we will accept that humans can wield the Sentinel armors. If you fail, we remove the armor by any means necessary and seal the vault forever. That seems harsh. Woojin said. The Sentinel armors are the most dangerous weapons ever created by the Veltari, Velsara said. We cannot allow them to be used by someone who cannot control them. The risk is too great. Hyunwoo took a deep breath inside the helmet. The armor hummed around him and he felt it respond to his nervousness. It sent calming energy through his body, trying to help. When do I take this trial? He asked. Tomorrow, Velsara said. That gives you time to rest and learn what the armor can do. Kira will help you train. She knows the old combat forms even if she cannot use them herself. Kira looked surprised. Me? Why me? Because this is your fault, Liz said coldly. Your joke put a human in Sentinel armor. Now you will make sure he knows how to use it without destroying the ship. Kira bowed her head. I accept this responsibility. The council members left, their robes sweeping the floor. Liz stayed behind looking at Hyunwoo with hard eyes. I do not trust this, she said. I do not trust you, human. But the council has spoken, so I will watch you very carefully. If you do anything that threatens this ship or my people, I will stop you. Sentinel armor or not. She turned and walked out, her guards following. Woo Jin let out a long breath. Well, that was intense. You okay, Hyunwoo? I'm okay, Hyunwoo said, though he was not sure if it was true. Just worried about tomorrow. The armor will help you, Kira said. She approached him, looking thoughtful. It chose you for a reason. You need to trust it. It keeps showing me things, Hyunwoo said. Battles. Memories that aren't mine. It's confusing. Those are the memories of previous pilots, Kira explained. The armor learns from everyone who wears it. All their knowledge, all their skill, it stays inside. That is how Sentinel warriors became so powerful. They had the experience of generations backing them up. So somewhere in here are the memories of your ancestor? Hyunwoo asked. Kira smiled sadly. Yes, Great Valkyra's in there somewhere. Maybe she can teach you what I cannot. Daeho put a hand on Hyunwoo's armored shoulder. Get some sleep if you can. Tomorrow will be difficult. But remember, you are not alone in this. We are all here to help you. Hyunwoo nodded. He lay down on a mat someone had brought, the armor adjusting to make him comfortable. As he closed his eyes, he felt the armor's presence in his mind, vast and ancient. Will I pass the trial? He asked it silently. The armor's response was not words, but a feeling. Confidence, strength, and something else. Something that felt almost like affection. We will pass together, it seemed to say. You and I are one now. Where you go, I go. What you fight, I fight. Hyunwoo found that strangely comforting. Whatever happened tomorrow, at least he would not face it alone. Outside the vault, in the dark spaces between stars, something ancient stirred. Sensors detected a ripple in space, there and gone in an instant. Too fast to track, too faint to analyze, but the armor felt it. Deep in its ancient programming, alarms started to sound. The enemy was moving. The Devourers were waking up. The trial tomorrow would not be practice, it would be preparation for war. The scarred Veltari officer, whose name was Liz, barked orders at her soldiers. They formed a circle around Hyunwoo with their weapons pointed at him. Energy hummed in the air, ready to fire. Do not move, human, Liz commanded. Her voice was hard as stone. Hyunwoo tried to raise his hands to show he meant no harm, but the armor responded to his thought before he could move. Blue energy shields appeared around his arms. The movement was so fast and smooth that it startled him. I said, do not move, Liz shouted. I'm not trying to, Hyunwoo started to say, but speaking felt strange through the helmet. His voice came out deeper and had an echo to it. Information kept flooding into his mind. The armor was connected to him now, showing him things. He could see energy patterns in the room. He could sense the weapons pointed at him, could calculate their firing angles. It was too much. His head hurt from all the new information. Commander Liz, please, Kira said, stepping between Hyunwoo and the soldiers. This was my fault. I told him to touch it. I did not think anything would happen. The armor has been dead for thousands of years. And now it is awake, Liz said, her eyes fixed on Hyunwoo. With a human inside it. Do you understand what this means? What chaos this will cause? More Veltari rushed into the vault. Among them, Hyunwoo saw Daeho, his human mentor. Daeho was older, with gray hair and a calm face that never seemed worried about anything. Next to him was Woo Jin, Hyunwoo's best friend on the ship. Hyunwoo! Woo Jin called out. What did you do? I just touched it, Hyunwoo said, hearing his voice echo strangely again. It grabbed me. I didn't mean to. Everyone calm down, Daeho said loudly, holding up his hands. Let us not do anything we will regret. Hyunwoo is not a threat. He is as confused as all of you. Confused or not, he is wearing a sentinel armor, Liz said. A weapon of incredible power. A weapon that should not be active. A weapon that definitely should not be on a human. The armor suddenly spoke in Hyunwoo's mind again. They fear what they do not understand. They fear their own history. Who are you? Hyunwoo thought back. I am the armor. I am the legacy. I am waiting for you to remember. Remember what? I've never seen you before in my life. The armor did not answer. Instead, it showed him more images. He saw the Veltari from long ago. They looked different from modern Veltari like Kira and Liz. The ancient ones moved with wild energy, their eyes bright with emotion. They fought with passion and creativity. Then he saw something change. The ancient Veltari went into chambers filled with light. When they came out, they were calmer, more controlled. They had made themselves into something new, something perfect, but the armor showed him that this perfection came with a cost. The sentinel armors stopped responding to them. The warriors tried and tried, but the bond would not form anymore. Something in the Veltari had changed, something important. The vision ended and Hyunwoo was back in the vault, surrounded by weapons and angry faces. We need to remove the armor, Liz said. Carefully. We cannot damage it, but we cannot leave the human bonded to it either. Two soldiers stepped forward. They reached for the armor's release points, spots near the neck and chest that would normally open the suit. Nothing happened. They tried again, pulling harder. The armor did not move. It will not release, one soldier said, sounding worried. Lisa's face darkened. Then we sedate him, put him to sleep, and we will cut the armor off if we have to. No, Kira said quickly. The armor might react badly. It could hurt him, or worse, it could release all its energy at once. The vault would be destroyed, maybe the whole ship. You seem to know a lot about how it works suddenly, Liz said coldly. I studied the old texts. All warrior families do. The sentinel armors are not simple machines. They are alive in their way. Forcing them to do something is dangerous. Hyunwoo felt pressure building in his chest. The armor was reacting to the threat around him. Energy started to gather in his hands without him wanting it to. Something's happening, he said, trying to keep his voice calm. I can feel it charging up. I don't know how to stop it. See? Kira pointed at the glowing energy building around Hyunwoo's fists. If you threaten him, the armor will protect him. It thinks you are enemies. Daeho stepped forward slowly, his hands still raised. Hyunwoo, listen to me. Take a deep breath. Think calm thoughts. The armor responds to you, yes? So show it you are not afraid. Hyunwoo tried. He closed his eyes inside the helmet and breathed slowly. He thought about fixing the cooling system earlier, something simple and calm. He thought about drinking tea with Woo Jin in their quarters. Peaceful things. The energy around his hands faded a little. Good, Daeho said. Now, everyone else, lower your weapons. You are making this worse. Liz looked like she wanted to argue, but after a moment she gestured to her soldiers. They lowered their weapons but did not put them away. The energy around Hyunwoo's hands disappeared completely. The armor responds to his emotions, Kira said quietly. Just like the old stories said. The sentinel armors needed pilots who felt things strongly. That is why they stopped working for us. We made ourselves too calm, too controlled. That is ancient superstition, Liz said. Not fact. Is it? Kira pointed at Hyunwoo. He is wearing the proof. A human, a species everyone says is too emotional and chaotic, just bonded with an armor we could not activate for 8,000 years. Maybe the superstition is true. Liz was quiet for a long moment. Then she tapped her communication device. I am calling the High Council. They will decide what to do. Until then, the human stays in the vault, under guard. He needs food and water, Daeho said, and rest. Whatever happened to him, it is clearly taking a lot of energy. Liz nodded slowly. Fine, but the armor stays on. We are not risking trying to remove it until the council makes a decision. Hyunwoo sat down carefully on the floor. The armor moved with him perfectly like a second skin. It felt strange but not uncomfortable. Woo Jin and Daeho came to sit with him while Liz set guards at the door. How do you feel? Woo Jin asked quietly. Tired, Hyunwoo said. Confused, like my brain is too full. What is it showing you? Daeho asked. The armor. I can see information scrolling in your helmet's visor. Hyunwoo tried to explain the visions. The ancient Veltari, the war against the Devourers. Daeho listened carefully, nodding sometimes. This is bigger than a simple malfunction, Daeho said. Something chose you, Hyunwoo. The question is why. Kira approached them, looking nervous. The guards watched her but let her get close. I am sorry, she said to Hyunwoo. I wanted to make a joke. To embarrass you. I did not know this would happen. No one did. It's okay, Hyunwoo said. You didn't know. But I should have been more respectful, Kira continued. I have treated you and the other humans poorly since you came aboard. I thought you were beneath us. I was wrong. She bowed her head, a gesture of apology in Veltari culture. Before Hyunwoo could respond, the armor spoke again in his mind. This time, all the humans and Veltari in the room could hear it. The voice came from the armor's external speakers, ancient and powerful. The inheritors have been found. The old blood awakens in them. When the enemy returns, they will be ready. This is the way it was always meant to be. Everyone in the vault froze. Did that armor just speak? Woo Jin whispered. It did, Kira said, her eyes wide. And it said the enemy returns. That means the Devourers. But they have been gone for almost 10,000 years. They cannot be coming back. The armor's symbol glowed brighter on Hyunwoo's chest. Can they? Kira asked, but no one had an answer. Hyunwoo wiped the sweat from his forehead as he finished fixing the cooling system in Section 7 of the Valcross. The alien ship was massive, bigger than any human vessel he had ever seen. He had been working here for 6 months now, and he still got lost sometimes in the endless corridors. Human, you are doing it wrong again. He looked up to see Kira standing above him. Her forearms crossed in that way that meant she was either amused or annoyed. With the Veltari, it was hard to tell. Her skin had a soft blue glow and her eyes were large and golden like most of her people. It's working now, isn't it? Hyunwoo said, pointing at the display that showed green lights. Kira made a sound like a laugh but sharper. It works, yes. But a Veltari child could have done it in half the time. Hyunwoo had heard this kind of thing a lot. The Veltari thought humans were slow, weak, and not very smart. They had been traveling through space for thousands of years, while humans had only left Earth a few decades ago. To them, humans were like babies trying to walk. Well, this human baby got it done, Hyunwoo said with a smile. That's what matters. Kira tilted her head, studying him. You are not offended? Should I be? Hyunwoo packed his tools into his bag. You're not wrong. Your people have been doing this a lot longer than us. We're learning. This seemed to surprise her. Most humans on the ship got angry when the Veltari made fun of them. But Hyunwoo had learned from his mentor, Daeho, that getting angry just made things worse. Better to be friendly and prove yourself through work. Come, Kira said suddenly. I want to show you something. Hyunwoo followed her through the ship. Other Veltari they passed gave him strange looks. Humans were not common on Veltari ships. There were only 5 humans on the Valcross. part of something called the Terran Exchange Program. The idea was to build friendship between species, but so far, it felt more like humans were just being tested. They took a lift down several levels, deeper into the ship than Hyunwoo had ever been. The walls here looked older, made of different material. Finally, Kira stopped at a heavy door that had strange symbols glowing on it. "This is the vault," she said, "where we keep our history." She pressed her hand to the door and it slowly opened. Inside was a large room filled with cases and displays. Hyunwoo saw weapons, old books, and things he could not identify. But in the center of the room, standing in a circle, were 7 tall suits of armor. They were beautiful. Each one was different, covered in patterns and symbols that seemed to move in the light. They looked ancient but also somehow new, like they had been waiting for something. "These are Sentinel armors," Kira said, and her voice was different now, more respectful. "My ancestors wore them in the Great Wars 10,000 years ago. They made the Veltari the strongest warriors in the galaxy." Hyunwoo walked closer, amazed. "They're incredible." "Yes, but they are also useless now." Kira's voice turned sad. "No one can use them anymore. Not for 8,000 years. The bonding process does not work with modern Veltari. We changed too much, the elders say." She walked to one of the suits, the one with silver and blue colors. "This one belonged to my family. My ancestor, the great warrior Valkyra, wore this into 100 battles. She never lost." Kira touched the armor gently. "I wish I could wear it. But I tried when I was young. Nothing happened. It just sits here dead and empty." Hyunwoo felt bad for her. He could hear the pain in her voice. "Maybe someone will figure out how to use them again someday." Kira turned to him and suddenly her expression changed. That playful, mean look came back to her eyes. "Actually, you should try it on." "What?" "Me?" Hyunwoo laughed. "I'm not Veltari." "Exactly." Kira's smile grew wider. "If the armor will not work for us, it certainly will not work for a human. It would be funny to see you try. I could record it and show the crew. They would laugh for days." Hyunwoo realized she was making fun of him again. This was another test, another way to show that humans were beneath the Veltari. Part of him wanted to say no, but he thought about what Daeho always said. "Show them we are not afraid. Show them we can laugh at ourselves." "Sure," Hyunwoo said. "Why not? Could be fun." Kira looked surprised that he agreed so easily. She pulled out her communication device to record. "Stand in front of it. Just touch the chest plate. That is where the bonding starts. Or where it would start, if you were worthy." She said the last part with a mean little laugh. Hyunwoo stepped up to the armor. It was tall, at least a foot taller than him. Up close he could see how complex it was. Thousands of tiny pieces fitted together perfectly. The symbols on it seemed to glow very faintly, but he thought it might just be the light in the room. "Go on, human," Kira said. Her device pointed at him. "Touch it." Hyunwoo reached out and placed his hand on the chest plate. For a moment, nothing happened. Kira started to laugh. Then the armor exploded with light. Hyunwoo jumped back, but the light followed his hand. The symbols on the armor blazed bright blue and white. Lines of energy raced across the metal and a sound filled the room like singing or humming, but in a language Hyunwoo had never heard. "What?" Kira dropped her device. "What is happening?" The armor began to move. Pieces separated and flowed like liquid metal. Before Hyunwoo could run, the armor wrapped around him. He felt it on his arms, his legs, his chest. It was warm and fit perfectly, like it was made for him. Energy poured into his mind. Information, images, feelings all rushing in at once. He could see battles from long ago, wars against strange creatures with too many teeth. He could hear voices speaking in his head, ancient and powerful. The armor's chest piece glowed with a symbol that looked like a star. Power hummed through every part of the suit. Hyunwoo felt strong, stronger than he had ever felt in his life. Alarms started blaring throughout the ship. Red lights flashed in the vault. Kira stared at him, her mouth open in shock. "This is impossible," she whispered. "You are human. You are not supposed to. This cannot be real." Hyunwoo tried to speak, but the armor was showing him more images. A war, an enemy, a species called the Devourers. They were coming. The door to the vault burst open. Veltari soldiers rushed in with weapons raised. Behind them came more crew members, including officers with angry faces. One of them, a tall female Veltari with scars on her face, pointed at Hyunwoo. "What have you done?" she shouted at Kira, Why is a human wearing the Sentinel armor? Why is it active? Kira could not answer. She just kept staring at Hyunwoo, her golden eyes wide with fear and wonder. Inside the helmet, Hyunwoo heard a voice. It was calm and ancient, speaking in his mind in words he somehow understood. Finally, the voice said, "After so long, the inheritors have come. The old blood awakens." Hyunwoo did not understand what any of this meant. All he knew was that his simple day of fixing cooling systems had just become very, very complicated. 3 days passed after Hyunwoo's trial. In that time, the council agreed to let the other humans try bonding with the Sentinel armors. Woo Jin was first. When he touched the green and gold armor, it blazed to life just like Hyunwoo's had. The bond was instant. Then came Hana, a human engineer who worked in the ship's power systems. She bonded with a red and silver armor. Finally, Taeyang, a security officer with quick reflexes, connected with a dark blue suit that seemed to match his serious personality. 4 humans in Sentinel armor. The Veltari watched with mixed feelings of fear and hope. Not every human could bond. 2 others tried and nothing happened. The armor stayed dark for them. Velsera explained that the chaos genes had to be the right kind expressed in the right way. It was not just about being human. It was about having the right type of mind. But 4 was better than none. 4 was a fighting force. They trained together every day, learning how the armors worked, how to fight as a team. Kira helped them, teaching them what she knew from the old texts. She was patient and careful, very different from the proud warrior who had made fun of Hyunwoo just weeks ago. "You are improving," she told them during one training session. "You move like sentinels now, not like humans wearing fancy suits." That almost sounded like a compliment, Woo Jin said with a grin. "Do not let it go to your head," Kira replied. But she was smiling too. Everything changed on the 4th day. Hyunwoo was sleeping when the alarm started blaring. Red emergency lights flooded his quarters. His armor, which he could now take off when he wanted, immediately activated and covered his body. "All crew to battle stations," Liss's voice came over the ship's speakers. "This is not a drill. We have detected an enemy vessel." Hyunwoo ran to the command center where screens showed a massive ship appearing from what looked like a tear in space itself. The ship was organic, covered in the same black armor as the Devourers from the simulation. But this ship was enormous, bigger than the Valcross by 10 times. "Devourers," Velsera whispered. She looked older suddenly, afraid. "They are real. They are back. How is this possible?" Another council member asked. "They were defeated, destroyed, 10,000 years ago." "Clearly not destroyed enough," Liz said grimly. She turned to her crew. "Ready all weapons. Shields to maximum. Send a distress call to the nearest Veltari fleet." On the screen, the Devourer ship began moving toward a nearby planet. It was a Veltari colony world home to 3 million people. "They are going for the colony," a crew member reported. "If they attack, the colony's defenses will not hold for more than minutes." "How long until the fleet arrives?" Liz asked. 2 hours at best. The colony does not have 2 hours. Liz looked at the tactical display, her face showing despair. "Our weapons barely scratch that ship. We cannot stop it alone." Hyunwoo stepped forward. "What about us?" "The Sentinels." Everyone turned to look at him. "You want to fight that?" Liz pointed at the massive enemy ship. 4 of you against something that destroyed entire Veltari battle fleets in the old wars?" "The armor activated because the Devourers are back," Hyunwoo said. "It prepared us for this. We have to at least try." Woo Jin, Hana, and Taeyang entered the command center, all wearing their Sentinel armors. They stood beside Hyunwoo. "He is right," Woo Jin said. "This is what we are for. What the armors chose us for." Velsera studied them carefully. "You passed 1 trial. You trained for a few days. You are not ready for real combat against the Devourers. Then give us a chance to become ready fast," Taeyang said quietly. He was usually silent, but when he spoke, people listened. "Let us go. The worst that happens is we fail and you send the fleet anyway. The worst that happens is you all die," Kira said. She had been watching from the side. "The Devourers do not take prisoners. They consume. They destroy. If you go out there and fail, there will not even be bodies to recover." "We know," Hana said. Her voice was calm. "But 3 million people are on that colony. We have to try." Liz and Velsera looked at each other. Some silent conversation passed between them. "Go," Velsera finally said. "May the old warriors guide you. You will need their help." The 4 humans ran to the launch bay. Kira followed them. "I am coming with you," she announced. "Kira, you do not have a sentinel armor," Hyunwoo said. "Your armor is good, but against that ship—" "I know," she interrupted. "But you will need someone to coordinate with the Valcross to call in support when you need it. And someone has to make sure you do not do anything too stupid." Woojin laughed. "Too late for that. This whole plan is stupid. They launched from the Valcross in small, fast combat pods. The Devourer ship loomed ahead of them like a mountain made of nightmares. As they got closer, Hyunwoo could see smaller Devourer creatures crawling on its surface, thousands of them. "They are launching attack ships toward the colony," Kira reported. "Hundreds of them. The colony's shields are already under fire." "We need to take out that main ship," Taeyang said. "Cut off the head." "Easier said than done," Hana replied, dodging as Devourer fighters noticed them and attacked. "These things are fast." The Sentinel armors were faster. Energy weapons blazed as the 4 humans tore through the Devourer fighters. The armors moved like they were alive, predicting attacks, finding weaknesses. Together with their human pilot's unpredictable thinking, they were devastating. But there were so many enemies, and the main ship was still advancing on the colony. "We need a plan," Woojin said, destroying 3 fighters with 1 energy blast. Hyunwoo's mind raced. The Valcross could not hurt the big ship. The colony's weapons could not hurt it. But maybe they did not need to hurt it. "Kira, what powers the Devourer ships?" he asked. "Old texts say they use organic reactors. Living engines. Why?" "Because living things can be killed," Hyunwoo said. "We go inside the ship, find the reactor, destroy it from within." "That is suicide," Kira said. "You would have to fly into the ship's mouth, get through whatever defenses are inside, find the reactor in a ship the size of a city, and destroy it before the Devourers kill you." "It is impossible." "Good thing we are really good at impossible," Woojin said. "I like this plan." "I do not," Taeyang said. "But I do not have a better one," Hyunwoo, Hana said quietly. "Even if we get inside, we might not have enough power to destroy something that big. The simulation drained your armor completely, and that was just to clear a battlefield." Hyunwoo felt the armor respond in his mind. It showed him something, a connection between all 4 Sentinel armors. They could link together, combine their power. "We can do it together," he said. "The armors can merge their energy. All 4 of us, one massive attack. And then we have no power to escape," Taeyang pointed out. "We will figure that out if we survive that long," Hyunwoo said. "Are you with me?" There was no hesitation. "Yes," they all said together. The 4 Sentinels broke through the Devourer fighters and raced toward the massive ship. Its mouth was opening, releasing more attack craft. It was a tunnel of teeth and darkness. "This is the worst idea I have ever heard," Kira said, but Hyunwoo could hear pride in her voice. "Do it. I will tell the Valcross to be ready to pick you up. Somehow." They flew into the mouth of the beast. Inside was worse than outside. The ship was alive in the worst way. Walls pulsed like organs. Devourer creatures crawled everywhere. The smell, even through the armor's filters, was terrible. "Find the reactor," Hyunwoo shouted, cutting through Devourers that tried to stop them. The armors guided them deeper, following energy signatures. They fought through waves of enemies, moving as one team. When Woojin was surrounded, Hana cleared a path. When Taeyang's shields failed, Hyunwoo covered him until they recharged. They found the reactor deep in the ship's center. It was massive, a living heart of dark energy that powered everything. "That is it," Hana confirmed, reading her armor's sensors. "If we destroy that, the whole ship goes dead." Devourers poured into the chamber, hundreds of them. The 4 Sentinels formed a circle, backs together. "Link up," Hyunwoo said. "Now." The armors connected, energy flowing between them. It felt incredible and terrifying. Hyunwoo could feel the others, their thoughts, their fears, their determination. They were one being now, 4 minds thinking as one. Power built beyond anything they had done before. The Devourers charged. The Sentinels released everything. The explosion was pure white light, so bright it could be seen from space. The reactor detonated and the massive Devourer ship began to break apart from the inside. On the Valcross, Liz watched the sensors. "The ship is dying." "They did it. But I am not detecting the Sentinel signatures." "They did not escape." Kira gripped her control panel. "No, they cannot be gone. Not like this." Then, bursting from the exploding ship, 4 shapes appeared. The Sentinels moving on emergency power, shields failing but alive. They flew toward the Valcross as the Devourer ship collapsed behind them. The landing. Bay crew caught them with tractor beams and pulled them in. Just as their armors went completely dark, Hyunwoo opened his eyes to see Kira's face above him. She was crying, which he had never seen a Veltari do. "You idiots," she said. "You beautiful, crazy idiots. You did it. The colony was safe. The Devourer threat was ended for now. And humanity had proven something important. They were not weak. They were not beneath anyone. They were exactly what the galaxy needed."